Wouldn't you like the freedom to work from anywhere? Hills or beaches or literally anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection.
Example CTX, shortcut for context, is equal to this canvas variable from variable.
In this complete game development course, you will learn how to develop a variety of games using JavaScript. Frank's courses are top-notch. Frank's courses are top-notch. And he has a really creative way of presenting things. You are going to love this course.
Hi coders, in this class we will use HTML, CSS and JavaScript to build 9 separate game development projects. I will write and explain all the code from scratch, line by line, using just plain vanilla JavaScript, no frameworks and no libraries. We will start by learning individual 2D game development techniques on smaller standalone projects, and once we covered everything, we apply all of them to build a simple mobile game, simple point-and-shoot game, and a more advanced, fast-paced 2D side-scroller with precise keyboard controls and special visual effects. My name is Frank, and I'm a front-end web developer. If you want to learn even more about game development and creative coding, you can check out my YouTube channel. In this course, we will learn everything you need to know about sprite animation. We will write the JavaScript code that handles seamless, endlessly scrolling parallax backgrounds. We will learn how to extend JavaScript classes to create a variety of enemy types with different visuals and different behaviors. I will show you how to implement state design pattern to manage player states and special abilities. We will learn how to use collision detection by color, collision between circles and between rectangles. We will add different particle effects and many other things. This class is made out of 9 separate standalone projects and a couple of special lessons, so if you already know some of these techniques, you can skip around. This class is not for complete beginners, but if you are already comfortable with the basics of JavaScript and you understand functions, for loops, objects and arrays, come join me and let's build some games. In the first class, we will explore 2 different JavaScript techniques you can use to animate sprite sheets, and we will build this project where you can choose different player animations from the drop-down. We are giving away a lot of free art assets. You can download them in the video description, and you can use them to follow along with this course. For more beautiful game art assets, visit this website. Now let's do a quick JavaScript setup. I will show you how little code you need to animate something on canvas. I create a custom variable called canvas that will hold a reference to my actual HTML canvas. I play a lot of build, explore objects and different JavaScript techniques you can build some games. In the first class, we will explore 2 different JavaScript techniques, player animations from the drop-down. We are giving away a lot of free art assets. You can download them in the video description, and you can use them to follow along with this course. For more beautiful game art assets, visit this website. Something on canvas. I create a custom variable called canvas that will hold a reference to my actual HTML canvas element I created in index.html. I point JavaScript something on camera. We are giving away a lot of free art assets you can download. download them in the video description, and you can use them to follow along with this course. For more beautiful game art assets, visit this website. Now let's do a quick JavaScript setup. I will show you how little code you need to animate something on canvas. I create a custom variable called canvas that will hold a reference to my actual HTML canvas element I created in index.html. I point JavaScript towards it using getElementById, and I pass it ID I gave it, canvas1. Constant variable I call, for example, ctx, shortcut for context, is equal to this canvas variable from line 1. Dot get context, and I pass it 2D. I could also pass it WebGL here, which would give us access to a completely different set of drawing methods, but that's for another video. Now I have all canvas 2D drawing methods stored in my custom ctx variable, and I can call them from here. For example, ctx_fillRect will call a method to draw a rectangle on canvas. If I console log ctx, we can inspect this object. It has some properties which basically are global canvas settings, such as fill style that says color of shapes we draw, or font, which sets size and font family of text we draw on canvas. This tutorial will be focused on sprite animation. We want to learn how to create animated characters for games. So we are most interested in built-in canvas draw image method, which sits right here. I will explain everything you need to know about draw image method and its 3 versions in a minute. It's easy, don't worry about it. Before we do that, I will quickly finish canvas setup. To make sure we have correct scaling, I need to set canvas width and canvas height. By default, canvas will be set to 300 times 150 pixels, and our drawings can come out distorted. That's why I will manually set it to 600 times 600, the same values I gave it in style CSS. I create a custom variable called canvas width. I will use capital letters here to make it clear. This is a global variable. I set it equal to canvas from line 1 dot width, and I set it all to 600. Same width I gave it in style CSS. I do the same for canvas height, also 600. Now that we made sure scaling is correct, let's bring an image into the project. In this tutorial, I want to show you 2 different ways you can animate sprites. Very simple one for beginners, and then more advanced, more complex and flexible way, where you can just run commands like run, jump, sit, and it will play the correct animation for us. When you know both, you can decide which one to use when you are building your games. I want everyone to get the same result. That's why I will be giving away this animated sprite sheet for free today. To bring image into JavaScript project, I can just declare a custom variable I call, for example, player image, and I set it equal to new image like this. This is a built-in image class constructor. It will create HTML image element, same as you would create if you put image tag, img tag in index.html markup. We can append it to our web page if we want, but today we will just use it to store that sprite sheet image for us so that we can animate it with JavaScript. I need to give it source, so player image variable from line 6 dot src, and I set it to path to my sprite sheet. Your path might be different, it depends on how you organized your project files. Let's animate something on canvas. I create a custom function called, for example, drawFrame. Actually, let's call it animate because this is our animation loop. Let's make sure that's clear. Inside animation loop, first I want to clear old paint from canvas between every animation frame. So I take ctx variable from line 2 dot clear rectangle built-in method. It expects 4 arguments to specify what area on canvas we want to clear. I want to clear the entire canvas, so from coordinates 0, 0 to canvas width, canvas height. Now we can draw. I will just test if everything works by drawing a simple rectangle at position 50-50, and I give it width and height of 100 pixels. Now I can call a request animation frame built-in method, which will simply run a function we pass to it. It will call that function once. If I pass it animate, the name of its parent function from line 9, it will just run over and over, create an animation loop. So we declared animate. I also have to call it like this, and we have a black rectangle drawn on canvas. If we don't specify fill style, color of shapes on canvas always default to black. It looks like a static image, but it's actually animating the same rectangle over and over. I can simply prove it by creating a global variable called x. I set it to 0, and here on line 12 I replace hard-coded value with this variable. And every time animation loop runs, I increase X by 1. I told you you don't need much code to animate something on canvas. Well done, you are a programmer now. See you later. Okay, there's a bit more I can show you. Let's put it back and let's use built-in draw image method to draw our sprite sheet on canvas. Draw image method is a bit special. You can pass it 3 or 5 or 9 arguments depending on how much control do you want to have over the image you are drawing. The first argument is always the image you want to draw, so I pass it player image variable from line 6. Then I pass it x and y coordinates, where on canvas I want my image to be drawn. If I pass it 0 for x and 0 for y, it will be drawn from the top left corner of canvas, coordinates 0, 0. It will also keep the image at the original width and height. The sprite sheet I'm using has 10 rows and 11 columns of animation frames. It's many times larger than my canvas, so now we can only see this small part, 600 times 600 pixels, in the top left corner of my sprite sheet. It's 600 times 600 because that's the size I set my canvas to. So this is the version of draw image with only 3 arguments. It works and you can change x and y coordinates to move your image around. But you would need to resize your images using some other programs such as Microsoft Paint or Photoshop. But you don't have to do that because draw image also accepts 5 arguments. That's its second version. If you pass it 5 arguments, the 4th argument will be width and 5th argument will be height, so we are now able to scale the image up and down, and we can also stretch it vertically or horizontally. If I pass it canvas width and canvas height, it will stretch the image to match my canvas area, 600 times 600 pixels. And since the image is not the same ratio as my canvas, you can see the image is stretched just a little bit. Let's remove the black rectangle by commenting out line 11. I can pass any values as width and height, and JavaScript will just stretch my image based on these values. You can also change X and Y to move the entire image around. The final third version of draw image method accepts 9 arguments. This gives us the most control over the image. The first argument again is the image you want to draw. The next 4 arguments determine rectangular area we want to cut out from the source image. Source X, source Y, source width and source height. And the last 4 arguments will tell JavaScript where on our destination canvas we want to draw just that cropped out part onto. Destination X, destination Y, destination width and destination height. These last 4 values basically work the same as these 4 values in the previous draw image call I showed you. The only difference is they are not used to position and stretch the entire image, but just the area we cut out using these arguments. I comment out line 12, but I will leave it here for a reference. And on line 13 I will add source X, source Y,